Hi, just an update here on liquidity and sentiment within the Bitcoin and crypto space. At the moment, I'm looking here. I've got Capital.com on. Capital.com is one of the biggest indexes with the most volume in it, so it should be giving us some good data. What we'll just do is we'll drop that down below and we'll go to my preferred one. And so down here I've just put in Capital.com and all of the other indexes as a collation. So here we've got the Bitcoin futures, and we can see it's a little bit different. Similar flavors, but a little bit different. But the one that I really like as an index to say where things are happening, and you can see there's some quite different periods of it. Liquidity starting to tighten. Here in the irregular liquidity, which is the liquidity amortized over 15 days, just to show up the different days of the week and how that spreads out, gives us a much more accurate reading of whether we really do have low liquidity or tight liquidity or loose liquidity, buying or selling. The red here is the selling and green here is the buying. We can see we've had some buying in this dip, some buying into the dip, but I still think we've got to go down to about 104,000 before we've retraced, and we'd also be going into a very strong high volume node here around the 104,000. Interestingly, we can start to see it pop back up. If we go to the 30 minutes, we can see that the 30 minutes we've had quite a heavy period across the top here, and then we've had this reactive liquidity, I would have thought here. So this bounce is a reactive bounce. It's now gone into quite high loose liquidity, so it's there's some selling going on there. We can see in Capital.com down here below, and the collation of all the different indexes, that it's quite red down below. Interestingly, we'll just pop over and have a look at what some of the coins say. Mara really followed very strongly today, followed the IWM. It seems to be more affected by rates than anything else, so it's had a strong day, had a little bit of buying. Really, you have to get in much closer to see that there was quite a good dip before that buying happened. Here we can see very in close during the day that there was quite a lot of selling during the day. There was a bit of drive that just came through from the IWM. The leading indicator that I really like is the Coinbase, and Coinbase we can see here became quite heavy if we just zoom out to 1 hour, actually maybe even 2 hours. There's a bit of latency in 2 hours, but you can see here we've had this heavy period going through from May through to the middle of June. Then we've had this really strong buying here, and now we're back up into a really loose period. We can see here it's quite loose. Even the long dated liquidity is running out. We can see at the end of the day some buying back and some very green at the end of the day. That could have just been some bringing back of the futures or the actual stock being bought and sold by people who were trading it during the day. If I have a look here at the open interest, here I've got the short dated open interest. Here I'll just have a look. Have I still got a coin on there? No, I've got the Australian. Let's just have a quick look at, so in the short dated stuff here, 0 to 30 days to expiry, we can see that the puts are very heavy. Puts are in red. I've got a 50 delta on it, and here calls are in green. We can see there has been quite a lot of buying of calls during this dip. I think the dip has still got to go down to about 300 and about 301 to 316, somewhere between the 0.618 and the 0.5. So I still think it's got a bit to go, but there's already some people buying into the market after a very heavy roll that showed us a lot of out of the money. That will be seen when we start to see this reduce. If we actually have a look at the longer dated stuff, we can see it's in really quite a hard place. When we lifted that gamma, we got quite an easy run off the OPEX on the 23rd, but it's really got some heavy hedging in there, and we're not seeing a great deal of buying in here. We can see that we haven't actually had any buying compared to the drop in gamma and the DPI. Anyway, I hope that helps you. I think that we're going to see a period of maybe a couple more days of down. You never know with the speed of tweeting now and the way the market can change. We might even see a good tweet and then a squeeze happen. Anyway, good luck trading for the rest of the week. It's the 2nd of July in the Australasian and Asian markets. Thank you for your time.